Hi everyone, my name is Lipsey and I'm a squat specialist, and today I'm going to talk about the low back position when you squat. In the world of powerlifting, you hear a lot of phrase when people squat or on their way up from the squat where they say big chest, and people try to accentuate the low back curve to tighten the back as much as you can off of the vertebrae. There's one big thick muscle that runs down the spine that is used to support the vertebrae so they don't actually slide forward and backwards. So when people say big chest, they often move from the wrong part of the back. So I'm going to give you a bit of an example here with this black padding, and then once I do that, I'm going to demonstrate with somebody exactly how a squat with the excessive lumbar curve would look. So let's say this is your spine. Don't worry about the top half having its curves, just the bottom half. And what you're going to do is you're going to press into it. So that's your natural curve in your low back, let's just say. Now you've got a barbell sitting on your traps right here, and it's going to come right through your body, through your hips, and through your heels on a squat, on a power squat, Olympic 2. When people do big chest, they excessively arch it. And if I can give you a good visual, it's going to look like this. The barbell now reorients backwards a bit. And then there's a giant bow in the spine. So there's nothing for that barbell to sit on. So the pressure is going through the back as the vertebrae is actually forward, and then through the hips. It's like leaning something on a tree branch, but then the tree branch begins to bow. It's about to snap. That's the amount of pressure you're putting on your low back. So when you do a big chest or hold your position properly, it actually comes off of the rib cage and not so much the low back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how exactly to support your torso properly during the lift. Now before I do that, one more thing I want to mention is this is a common lift. That big chesting is very common because many people still believe in squatting with your knees behind your toes. Now that's probably accurate for many people who are at least of average size, but the taller you get or the longer your thigh bone, that starts to change. So if you're still holding your knees back when you're doing a squat and you're fairly tall, the only way to reorient that barbell back over the heel is to bow it. And that's why it's such a common movement. So you would then allow a bit more knee movement forward to accommodate the alignment of the barbell through the heel, but not through a bowing action like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how it looks when you do bow, and then how it looks when you don't. So let's go do that, and I'll show you how it's done. Okay, so let's get to it here. What we're going to show you is the back position on the squat. I'm going to show you more of a power style squat. However, this applies to an Olympic squat as well. When you squat low and the back does bow, a lot of times it's your hip flexors, the psoas muscle in the front, that's not strong enough or lacks the range of motion. So what we're going to show you here is what it looks like for most people when they squat, and sadly enough, for what most people are taught to do when they squat, which is the big chest, and how to adjust that or slowly remove that to get back to a power squat where the core is involved throughout the full range and not just an arch through the back. So Talita here is going to demonstrate that right now. So she's going to go down into her squat regularly, and then she's going to pause, and you're going to see right there a back arch. So she's going to stand up, and she'll do one more of those. Just don't lean back when you sit. She's going to do one more, and stop. And right there you can see a giant bowing action. And that's what's called the big chest. So stand up, Talita. So she's going to do one right now where she's going to sit down, the bowing action is going to occur, but then she's going to adjust it and restore the lumbar curve's natural curve, and then she'll try to press up off that. So go ahead, Talita. So there it is right there. The arch is there again. She's going to take a deep breath in, make the rib cage tall, and then drive her chest down to her stomach a bit to restore the natural curve, and there it is. Now she has to realign the barbell with her heel, which means half of her bum has to come off the ground. More lean. And then she'll try to press off. Like that. That's good for you. Perfect. So what I showed you there was the bowing action that occurs, which some people call, like I said, big chest, which big chest does exist, but not in that fashion, and how to readjust that so your natural curve can be restored, and then you press off of that. You'll most likely lose power. If you can accommodate that pose, you'll probably have to pull back on some of the weight that you've been lifting to do so. When Talita tried to stand up, she restored her low back curve to the excessive arch. So she would have to readjust the weight and practice that skill, or possibly use a bit of a higher box until she gets the pattern of keeping a natural curve in her low back. So this is absolutely critical for the squat. when you're lifting to keep your back healthy and your discs healthy. So give it a shot, see how you like it. If you like more information like this, then visit www.howtosquat.net for lots of killer content. And we'll see you next time.